I know it's been a while, but I'm back. Had a lot going on in life. New house, wedding, all that stuff. But I'm back. It's going to be better than ever. Building a new rig very, very soon. But today we are focusing on Diablo 4. Specifically the beta just launched. We're going to be taking a deep dive look at the settings. I did the same thing for Diablo 2 Resurrected. You guys seem to like that. We're doing that for Diablo 4. And I'm going to have a lot of content for the game coming. Going to deep dive into the beta, go over classes, all that good stuff. But this video is specifically about the settings. Settings, show off the game a little bit. Very little gameplay in this one, but it's mostly so you guys understand like how deep the settings go, what you can expect in the game, and what Blizzard gave us. And to be honest with you, I haven't looked at everything yet. And I did that on purpose so I can learn along with you guys. But enough of staring at my bald head. I'm going to go ahead and hide my webcam. We are going to start game. We're going to get in there. And I moved the character just about 1 or 2 minutes, I would say, of gameplay into the nearest little mini town.
I should find better
and it reset me anyway. Alright, so we're going to walk there together. And the reason why we're walking there is because I want to have an area with a little bit more lighting. Something we can stare at beyond just a blizzard. We got a bunch of wargs attacking us. I'm going to run, because I don't want to sit here all day fighting wargs. That's not what this video is about. So we're going to run real fast into the town. I guess it's called the Vesk. Okay. So we're jumping in here into the nearby little house, and the NPC is going to walk us over into the little hut. We talk to this dude. We can skip conversation. I like that little dash. That's always nice. And we are going to go into this little hut here, and we're going to start going over the settings. So far, visibly the game, you know, it's got some... Graphically, it's pretty nice looking. I like the shadows. I like the lighting. Alright, so here we are. So we're in this first little hut. I wish it was something a little bit brighter in the beginning of the game, but it is what it is. We'll work with what we have. Not bad looking. So let's go. Let's jump into our settings. Again, that's why we're here. We're going to start with the graphic settings. I think it's everyone's favorite. It's definitely mine. Your video card, your monitor, resolution, refresh rate, typical stuff, right? I suppose if you go to Windows mode, you'd have the refresh rate option as well. Pop up. Maybe it's VSync needs to be disabled, but it should pop up. Regardless, what else do we have? We have our font scale, a cursor scale, if I could speak. I'm pretty sure that was small at the beginning. But if you guys that play ARPGs, you guys have certainly run into the problem where, like, wow, I lost my cursor. Where is it? Being able to change the size is very, very nice. Font scale, obviously how big the font is. As you can see, it's already changing in the settings. We'll put that on large just to make it easier for you guys to read. HDR, if you have an HDR monitor. I don't, but I'm working on that. So as I do, it should give me the option to enable that. Peripheral lighting. Lighting effects on connected peripherals. So I'm going to go ahead and disable that and just take a quick look. See if we can see what's going on with that. Yeah, I don't have any peripherals that are lighting up, so that should be like anything that has any sort of lighting sync option, like your mice. Some of them allow you to do that, so interesting, but I'm not too into that. Colorblind filter for you guys that utilize this feature. It's nice to see them have that. Resolution percentage. This is always nice to have, but it's generally not something you mess with if you value your frames. We have definitely, yeah, I could definitely tell that it's causing a lot of impact on performance. Again, this is just a beta, so hopefully it improves in the near future. But yeah, that definitely has a massive impact on your performance, so you want to keep that at 100% at least for now. Temporal reconstruction, I like this. In some games, it's pretty nice. What it does is well, there's a description right there. The game will render half as many pixels per frame and use data from previous frames to reconstruct a full resolution image. This works, and it varies a lot from game to game. I do see like some performance issues in some games, and not so much performance, but like visual effects, where you get some odd visual effects with temporal reconstruction. So I keep that off unless you're really having some performance issues. Maybe you're on a lower end computer. Throw that thing on. Definitely helps. DLSS, I think everyone's heard of this by now. Deep learning super sampling. Not a fan If your computer can run the game, it's another setting you really don't wanna mess with unless you have to, in my opinion. Some games do it right, and some games it kind of sucks in. So far, I mean, I haven't had crazy amount of action yet, but I don't see any issue really with putting it on quality. We'll look into it a little bit more as we go further into the game, but I generally keep it off for now. Significantly improves performance, but may introduce visual artifacts, which is correct. That's why I usually keep it off if the game's running at FPS that you are happy with. There's really no reason to mess with DLSS, in my opinion, if you get the frames you're already looking for. If you don't, yeah, turn it on, mess with it. See if you could find middle ground. Quality, okay. So this is what I really want to see. This is obviously all preset stuff. You change it to high, it'll put everything probably on the highest, and then as you adjust it, it'll just change it to custom because you're making custom changes. You know, we've seen it in every game. So here's our basic settings. It's kind of nice that they show you the VRAM usage that you can expect based off the texture quality, shadow quality, anisotropic filtering, dynamic shadow, soft shadows. I'm looking for motion blur. That's where my eyes are looking for. Shader quality, SSAO, so all your basic stuff. I like seeing that we could change very specific stuff, like the fur, water, anti-aliasing, geometric, physics, that's good, physics setting. 75% reduction, no reduction, that's what low versus high is. So you only get 25% of the high-end physics, 25% of the main physics, I suppose, the base physics, if you go to low. 75% reduction. So I don't see anything about motion blur. Maybe the game really doesn't have any, I'm not sure. Distortion. Controls whether screen space distortion is applied. Decreasing this may improve performance. I don't like that type of stuff, personally, like blurs and any sort of distortion type stuff, so I would generally turn this off. But I don't know. I'll do a comparison later and see exactly what it's doing. But we're not here just for the video settings, because there's not much we can see in terms of visual effects in this area. Game looks nice, all I can say right now. So far, it looks nice. I'll show off an area at the end of the video with brighter lighting, hopefully. Okay, so jumping into our sound settings. Pretty basic. Volume for various things. Spatial sound is supported, but it's based on your current platform. Enable this for your system settings. Gotcha. Okay, so we got voice chat in the game. We got push to talk, auto-join voice channels off by default, which is nice. Definitely don't like being thrown into a random voice chat. Transcribe voice chat. Enable speech-to-text transcription of active voice channels. Cool, alright. I don't know how well that's going to work, but it's cool to see that that's a supported feature as well. Cinematic subtitles, basic sound stuff. Okay, we don't care too much about sound. There's not much there. Okay, so this I actually care about. The gameplay settings. This actually excites me a little bit here. Screen shake effects. Like I said, I don't like the blurs. I don't like any sort of stuff like that, like screen shake effects. This I would definitely turn off. I'm not a huge fan of that. In fact, let's see if we could take a look at what that looks like. I'm curious what the screen shake effects are. I'm going to turn that on, maybe take some hits here. Alright, and this is a hardcore character, so I better not get him killed. So it's very little screen shake. I assume maybe like it varies a little bit as you take hits, like maybe you take a stronger hit. Yeah, we're not getting any screen movement at all. I do like seeing that, the option to change that. Pretty basic, we've come to expect that, I think, in our games, but I've played games that don't have the option to turn it off, which is brutal sometimes. So, screen shake effects, I turn that off. Combat hit flash, that's pretty, I think we know what that is. You know, you screen flash a little bit when you take a hit. Reduce strobing, this will disable several effects and lights in the game, reducing the amount of strobing in the game. I think if you get motion sickness, you get headaches from playing a game for a long time, so turning stuff off like this will definitely help you. Highlight players when obstructed, that's very nice. That's like if you're hidden behind a pillar of some or a wall or something. Hopefully I can get behind something here and maybe show the difference. That'll show your character off. That'll still put like a visual effect on your character so you can still see them. I think that's a pretty nice effect. That's can't really get to something that can obstruct me, it seems, but if that happens... Oh, a bear. Let's fight him. It's kind of hard. One of the nice things I like is Q here has my my potions. I like that. So that's something you can always adjust with the if you don't like the highlight when obstructed. We'll show something off with that later. Damage numbers, show all damage numbers. All damage dealt by the player is displayed. Only damage dealt by special hits are displayed as floating numbers, so I guess like crits and such. All tutorials, I'm going to keep that on for now because it's still brand new to the game. Ah, this I like. When comparing item tooltips, properties gained, lost, and changes to equipped skills will be displayed if this is on. When disabled, it only shows the primary stat. I like that on. I like getting more information. I want to know exactly what my items are doing. Advanced tooltip information. Display advanced information on tooltips such as item, property ranges, lucky hit chance on skills, and indicators as to whether modifications are additive or multiplicative. If I understood math, that would be helpful. I definitely like that. That's, again, more information. The more information we have, the better. Can't go wrong with that. All right. HUD configuration, centered, left, strange to only see two options for that, centered and left. I'm sure there's some people that might like it on the bottom right side. Kind of disappointed to see that. Personally, I'm fine with centered, but hell, more customization is always better, right? That's why we have a crazy amount of add-ons and mods in our MMOs, because some games don't give us enough configuration, so we want mods, right? Obviously, this game doesn't have mods, so that's going to be a bummer for some people, I think, but hopefully, you know, that's not too big of a deal. Item label duration on drop. Briefly display item label when the item drops on the ground. I like that. 1 second, 2 seconds. I guess these are seconds. 10 seconds. And then item label display. Push to show for 10 seconds. Push to toggle on and off. And push to show. I'm a big Diablo 2 player. I always love D2. I'm assuming this is alt by default. I'm not sure. But the that's, you know, what it was for D2. It might be alt. There you go. Show item labels alt. Yes, it is. That's how do you want that alt key to function? You know, you want it to show items permanently, toggle on and off. You want to hold it to see the items, or you want to just tap it and show it for 10 seconds. Very cool. I like that. And then a 10-second show of the items every time they drop. That's good. This is pretty in-depth settings just for these the item drops. I like that. Skill toggle. Let's see. Repeating or channeling skills requires holding the skill input. Toggle sustained skills. Channeled skills like Incinerate and Whirlwind. Ooh, my favorite. Whirlwind can be toggled on and off. Repeated skills require holding the skill input. Toggle all. Repeating or channeled skills can be toggled on. So I guess like if you have your Whirlwind on 1, you'd hit 1, it would turn Whirlwind on, and then until you tap it again, it won't turn it off. Or if you run out of like resource, you would stop, obviously, right? That makes sense. Like that too. Action wheel activation. Press and hold. Use the action wheel by pressing and holding the action wheel key. What is that? Press toggle. Press the action wheel key to toggle the wheel on and off. Using the wheel does not require holding the key. Action wheel. Interesting. Find out more about that. Hold position. This is important. For you guys that play a lot of range characters, you hold position. Like I'm holding shift right now. Is that a deer? Run, deer, run. You hold position, you don't move when you hold shift by default, and you swing. So there's our hand axe there. That just dropped. That'll allow me to show off that item thing here. We'll take a look at that. Hold position mode. Ogle, huh? Let's try that. Yep, if I tap shift, I don't move now. I'm not even holding shift anymore. I just tapped it to toggle it on. And I tap it all. I hit it again, and it lets me move. That's, not my preferred way. I prefer the hold. It's just what I'm used to for D2, but it's nice to see. Minion health bars, that would be your summoned troops, your skeletons, and for you summoning necros out there, that might be important. Monster health, hover only, always on. We'll put that on always on just so we can see their health, and we'll see what that's all about. Being able to change the player highlight, that's very nice. So this would be like the other setting before, which would allow us to see, you know, highlight player when obstructed. That's likely this. Player highlight color, being able to change that. NPCs, enemies, object. Love that. Throws a highlight around the player. Let's see. Oh, there we go. So you could play with the highlight at all times around the player. Oh, all right. I like that. Let's see if we go, I don't know, like a deep blue. Let's see. Yeah. I think it's a cool feature to have. Again, personally, since you're centered around the screen anyway, you know, it's generally I don't need it, but as things get more serious, the screen gets filled with stuff, the gameplay gets a little bit quicker, I could see people using it, you know, especially when you're playing hardcore, you don't want to take any chances, right? So, I like that. It's a good feature. So that hand axe that's over there, we're gonna tap Alt and just show off that feature where it shows for 10 seconds now, because I have that set here. Push the show for 10 seconds. We're gonna go with toggle just to show that. Yep, tapping Alt will toggle the item display. Nice feature, and we'll equip one of those. I mean, not that it'll do anything. They're the same exact item. Alt to compare to other. There's item power. I see 14 item power versus 12. But again, we're here about the settings. We're not here about that. Controls, controller play. Definitely not my preferred way to play an ARPG. Props to you guys that play with controllers. I mean, I guess you could manage it on a Steam Deck if you want to try to get this on there. But yeah, I definitely like my mouse and keyboard, especially when I'm playing hardcore. Don't want to mess around with that. Let's see. Uh-oh. Shop screen. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Our cash shop, maybe? Definitely not something I'm looking forward to seeing. I mean, I'll look at it. We'll see, obviously, what it is, but it's, look at that. Mount. That's going to be different. Z to mount, which was my key to mount in WoW as well, believe it or not. So it looks like Blizzard took a tip from me. They saw my streams. Spur mount, that's kind of cool. So you got space to kind of like sprint the mount off a little bit. Mount dismount. Mount combat dismount. They jump off the mount and into like a slash or something. That's kind of cool. I'm interested to see how the mounts go. I think we all are. That's definitely something that's... oh, there's the action wheel they were talking about. You press E. Get your menu here with some options. So you can customize it. PvP unavailable. Very cool. Back to controls. That was that action wheel setting we were looking at before. Definitely interested in seeing the mounts, though. Let's hit P. Let's see what the shop is. Okay, nothing, because we are in a beta, so no shop yet. That would be interesting to see. Okay, and the wheel, I guess if you want to keybind the wheel as well, you can. Wow, that's a lot of keybinds for the wheel. And your chat. Social, let's see. This is actually somewhat important. Cross-network play. That's cool. Cross-network communications. You'll be able to text and voice chat with players on other platforms. Players come online, go offline. Friend requests received. Friend earns a challenge. I wonder if that's kind of like achievements type of thing. Clan member comes online. I like seeing clans, and that's huge for me. I definitely, you know, I like my guild. Love playing games with them, and I want to see guild-oriented features in this game. I would say I have high hopes for that, but I kind of doubt it. We know it's not an MMO, but we'll see. We'll see what it offers in terms of like playing together as a guild, even though it's only 4-player co-op. Hopefully, we get some interesting guild features, clan features. Sorry, chat colors, customization for that. That's good. Always like seeing customization. Language filter, quick join. Allows friends to join your party without an invitation. Display of local network players. And then accessibility, if you guys that use text-to-speech, screen reader. This controls the volume of all sounds in the game. And then visual changes, font scale, cursor scale falls under here as well as other settings. Colorblind filter. Subtitles, gameplay, stuff. So some of the settings are repeated in here for accessibility, so I guess people don't... Ooh, in-game loot sounds. Look at that. Look at that. Huh. I wonder why this is under accessibility. I wouldn't have put it there, but this is probably one of the most interesting settings I found. Look at this. Enable sound effects tied to items dropping in the world. Apply the effect to all weapons drops, one, two-handed, offhands, and minimum quality. It's essentially a loot filter hidden in the accessibility settings. Applies the settings to apply this effect to items at this quality level or higher. Look at that. So that's play audio on ambient loot. Enable sound effects when an item in the world is nearby. Huh. Enable sound effects when an item in the world is targeted by the player. This is cool. I can see why it's in accessibility. But But I would assume this would be a repeated setting like they did with some other stuff like the highlights and such, because this is important to players that don't have visual impairments as well as players that do. Yeah, I get that, but this is something that all players might want to mess with. I mean, if you guys that played Path of Exile and such, you guys mess with loot filters. You guys really adjusted those settings, so this is a very cool setting to see. Definitely helps players that might have some disabilities and not players that want to just make sure they have notifications that a certain quality of item dropped. I like it. That's good. Blizzard, so far, your settings, I give you an A. This is pretty good. Some nice stuff. The only real complaint I had was a little bit more customization for the UI. One thing I didn't see is UI scaling. I'm so surprised about that I almost think I missed it, but it seems like it's just not there. No UI scaling, huh? That's strange. That's very strange to see. Because we have HUD configuration centered in left corner, depending on how you want to play it. Again, disappointed to not see players get an option to move that, maybe even unlock it and drag it where you want. Maybe you're a weird one. Maybe you have your HUD at the top left. I don't know, but you should allow players to do that. I mean, what harm is it doing if players can move it where they want? But not seeing a HUD scale, that's a bummer. Would hope to see that. Also, where's the scaling of the minimap? That's strange. I just hit M to pull up the main map just to see if the map would scale, the minimap would scale to a smaller size, but I'm not seeing that. That's actually quite strange. I will, so I'm seeing map screen. I will definitely update this towards the end of the video if I find anything, but I'm going to spend some time right now looking into this, seeing if we could find out what's going on. Plus, I also promised to show you guys a better heavily lighted area that might show off the graphics a little bit more. Alright, let's jump to that. Alright, so I promised I'd show you guys a more well-lit area. I have the graphic settings on absolute minimum right now to start this off, because I wanted to show the graphic difference. So we can take a look at everything kind of in like one lump increase, you know, to show the difference. Take a look at those shadows. They're definitely low quality. The board back here, the character's not looking too good. Even the lighting for this waypoint. And this is in the most well-lit area I could find. I think this is the first city called Kyovashad. I'm not sure if there's going to be more in the game, but this is the first one I came across. I'm sure there'll be more. But we're going to take a look at the graphic settings here. We are going to intentionally bump these things up to max. We got everything turned on now. Dynamic shadows, soft shadows, everything going up. Not a huge fan of distortion, but I'm going to keep it on for now just to show you guys. And then we'll also mess with sharpening after this. So I'm going to hit Save Changes. We're going to give this a minute. Because it does take a little bit to load. Hopefully it doesn't crash me out. Some people have been getting crashes. I've been lucky enough to not. There we go. Alright, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. So definitely have more details on that board. My character, the shadows are looking pretty good. Nice shadow from this swinging little lantern type of thing over here. The lighting on the waypoint looks pretty good. They definitely did a pretty nice job on the graphics. Not too bad. Not crazy top of the line, but you know, you could have an enjoyable time. It still looks good, and play this on, you know, lower end systems just fine. That being said, I do like the image sharpening that they built in. I'm gonna put this up just a little bit. Put it to about 20. Maybe I'll end up at 15, but the built-in sharpening is pretty damn good. Some of you guys might have messed with the like NVIDIA and AMD's image sharpening, but you don't have to. You can just adjust it through the game. Definitely makes it easier. And I could see it a lot on the waypoint, on these runes kind of like etched in it. You can see a lot of the sharpening there. I'll show you the difference between 100. Obviously, that looks horrible. It's too much. But you'll see that it actually does take effect. And we'll jump down to about 50. There we go. Still way too much for my my taste. And I think I settle on 20, and I really like it. But this is 0. As you can see, it gets has a little bit of a blur. I think 15 to 20 is probably like your sweet spot, in my opinion. Obviously, that's a very opinionated thing when it comes to sharpening. But I really like it. I think they did a great job with the graphic settings. They have a lot of in-depth stuff. And my only complaint is the UI customization. There's no scaling of the UI. You can't move it wherever you want. This mini-map's a little bit big. Hopefully we see some changes implemented there. But For the most part, the settings are pretty good. They did a good job with this, a lot of customization. But anyway, hopefully I covered everything you guys wanted to see in this video. There's more to come, a lot more Diablo 4 videos coming. Thank you so much for watching, and I promise to deliver a lot more content. A lot of MMOs this year. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching.